Hello and welcome to the Daily Comic and Collectible, episode 369. Now today, the collectible of the day is the Hasbro Toys Spider-Man series, Retro Collection, Marvel's Kingpin action figure. Wilson Fisk ruthlessly rules New York City's underworld with cunning and a keen intellect as the supervillain known as Kingpin. This 6-inch scale figure of Wilson Fisk is designed in the retro style and even comes in the retro style packaging and design. Figure comes with multiple points of articulation, classic inspired details. Box contains Kingpin figure, alternate face sculpt, and walking cane. This vintage Spider-Man package toy was released by Hasbro Toys. Now the comic of the day is Civil War II, Kingpin, Volume 1, Issue 1, with a cover date of September 2016. This is part of the Civil War II event, with story by Matthew Rosenberg, art by Ricardo Lopez Ortiz, and this is the Fried Pie variant cover by Jackson Juice. This issue is titled The Death and Birth of Janus Jardiche. Janus Jardiche is a former worker for Kingpin who had started working for Black Cat's gang. While guarding a warehouse full of items, Janus accidentally opened a box containing Terrigen Mist, when he ended up undergoing Terrigenesis. Black Cat was informed of what happened as she watched Janus emerge from his Terrigen cocoon. After encounters with the police and a doctor finding nothing wrong with him, Janus assisted Black Cat and Fancy Dan in a heist until the Avengers showed up. All three managed to evade a capture. While Black Cat was laying low, Janus had to find another job. He found one in the human trafficking business, where he was assisted by Man Mountain Marco. When Kingpin and Turk Barrett found Janus, Kingpin decided not to kill him as he had learned that he'd been undetected by Ulysses Kane's abilities. In order to test Janus's abilities, Kingpin had Kane kill a security guard who was previously knocked out upon stumbling upon the woman that he and Man Mountain Marco had captured. Geek Fact: the in-depth story of Janus Jardiche. He was a low member of Wilson Fisk's criminal enterprise in Hell's Kitchen, prior to the Kingpin's move to San Francisco. He then found work for Black Cat, who had him guard a warehouse full of items, one of which was a container of Terrigen Mist, which Janus inadvertently released. Discovering himself to possess latent inhuman genes, Janus began to undergo Terrigenesis, during which he envisioned an alien world where a celestial told him he was reborn. He emerged from his cocoon, believing he'd been gone for a very long time. However, Black Cat informed him that it had only been 15 minutes since she left him alone in the warehouse. Over the coming days, Janus felt like something was crawling inside of him, and thus tried to meet with Queen Medusa to discuss his condition, but was stopped by NYPD officers. He then attempted to slit his own wrists, but when that failed to kill him, he sought the opinion of medical doctors, who could find nothing physically wrong with him. When the Kingpin returned to Manhattan, a barista named Armand asked the crime boss to help him find his missing sister-in-law, Sonia. Fisk had Turk Barrett look into the matter, and soon discovered that it was his former employee, Janus, behind the disappearance. When Kingpin confronted Janus, he opted not to kill him, and instead took him back under his wing, realizing that somehow the man was special, as he had managed to avoid Ulysses Kane's detection, while countless others in New York City had been rounded up for crimes they'd not yet committed. In order to test Janus's ability, Fisk had him kill a security guard, whom Janus had knocked out after he stumbled upon his captives. Side fact: precognitive immunity is Janus's ability. It allows him to remain undetected by Ulysses Kane's ability to forecast the future. Bonus geek fact: How Civil War II got started in the first place. The Inhuman precog, Ulysses Kane, recently helped save the day from the Celestial Destructor when Medusa used the information from a vision he had to warn the Avengers. During a celebration party, the heroes discovered the Inhumans' knowledge. Captain Marvel wanted Ulysses to work with the Ultimates in order to preemptively tackle disasters before they happen. But Iron Man opposed the idea, suggesting it was dangerous to take their visions for granted for several reasons. The fact that it was possible to prevent the events Ulysses saw meant it didn't have access to anything set in stone. Additionally, little was known about how Ulysses' powers worked. Carol remained adamant in using Ulysses, considering it had worked perfectly in stopping the Celestial. While he initially only warned his fellow heroes in the need to be careful about Ulysses' visions, Iron Man eventually set out to prevent Captain Marvel from using Ulysses ever again, after an attempt at preemptively stopping Thanos led to the death of War Machine and She-Hulk ending up in critical condition. This video is brought to you by M&M Candies. My favorite color is green. What's your favorite color of M&Ms? Advertising ad fact. Thanks to Magic Shave's fast-working razorless cream shave, Mitch Jackson wasn't in the wrong place at the wrong time when Luke Cage came bursting through his wall from a knockdown, drag-out fight with the Absorbing Man. You can see what happens next at magicshaveapproved.com/Marvel. Don't bother checking. It no longer works. I tried. And final geek fact. One of the most feared, dangerous, and powerful crime lords in the Marvel Universe, usually depicted as New York City's crime overlord, the Kingpin was introduced as an adversary of Spider-Man, but later went on to be the arch enemy of Daredevil, as well as a reoccurring foe of the Punisher and his adoptive daughter, Echo. He was married to Vanessa Fisk, who frequently expressed her disapproval of his criminal activities, and later to Typhoid Mary Fisk, and is the father of Richard Fisk and Butch Ferris, the latter of whom succeeded him as the Kingpin following his retirement. His traditional attire consists of his signature white suit, jacket, and cane, though his appearance has been changing over the years. Across all iterations, the Kingpin is depicted with an extraordinarily heavy-set appearance and a bald head. The character is not simply obese, but also heavily muscled, like a sumo wrestler, and a formidable hand-to-hand combatant. Despite this, his size has been regularly mocked, especially by Spider-Man. Well, I'd like to thank you for joining me for another Daily Comic and Collectible, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. This is Cat Fan Comics Man, and I'll catch you on the flip. Over and out.